The Walt Disney stock just keeps on dropping, but analysts say, well, maybe you should pay up. Maybe you should buy Bob Iger's stock. It could be going under 100. What will they say then? And can Bob Iger finally get a win in his last year compared to his predecessor, Bob Chapek? Happy Black Friday, everybody. Are you out there right now? Are you listening to my voice as you fight the crowds? I don't know. Maybe people have all moved on to Cyber Monday now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a good time. It's going to be a great time. We're going to talk about the Disney stock today. Happy that you come our way. Click the like button. And if you're not yet subscribed, if you're part of that 10, 20, 30% that have yet not clicked the button, oh boy, we'd love to have you on board this channel. Join the community of those who like to understand entertainment and stay ahead of the culture curve. They're still telling you need to get a hold of that Disney stock. Folks, we're not here to give you any financial advice, but we are here to tell you, drop. It's going down. 103.58 is the current number for Disney. Will Zootopia save them? Culture says nay. How much are you down if you own Disney stock? Again, not telling you whether to buy or to sell, but Disney is down about 11% for the past year. 103.16. What if we go to the 5-year? Oh my. Disney is down an astounding 30%. 30% at the time of recording, Culture. Disney is not doing so hot. And yet...
Don't you feel like you're leaving someone out? Because Mexican Iron Man is the expert in losing money on Disney stock.
Mm-hmm. I didn't realize how much it was. I had no idea how much. It's a lot of money. I thought it was kind of a joke, a running gag. And then he told me, and I about gagged when I heard how much he's got. Folks, out of the Motley Fool, here's what investors need to know before buying Disney stock. This is by Neil Patel. Says Disney streaming services will have a bigger impact on the company's financials going forward. The company has a treasure chest of unrivaled intellectual property. There's a lot of growth potential with experiences, aka the parks and cruises. And so what are they doing, folks? They're telling you that Disney stock currently trades 49% off its peak. What are they talking about? What do you mean off its peak? Folks, let's go back and take a peek at that. The peak is when Bob Chapek, a different CEO, was in charge. Then they threw him overboard and they brought in Bob Iger, brought him back in. They absolutely went in protest starting in January 2022, drove the stock down. Bob Iger came back into town. And it's been down here around the same point ever since. So when Motley Crue says it's off its peak, it's 49% off of where it was when Bob Chapek was there. Bob Iger is performing about half as well as Bob Chapek. But there are reasons for investors to get interested. It goes on to tell you what you should know, okay? Here's what you need to know before you invest, folks. You need to look at this chart and you need to go talk to somebody who's really smart when it comes to investing. All I can tell you, since I'm not that guy, I am not your Jim Cramer. All I can tell you is Disney has been where it's been for at least about the last 10 years. And the S&P 500 is nowhere near where it was back then. It's way up, way beyond that. Yahoo Finance is hosting Insider Monkey. Citi reiterates a buy on the Walt Disney Company. The Walt Disney Company is one of the best communication and media stocks to buy, according to them. On November 17th, Jason Bazinet from Citi reiterated a buy rating on the Walt Disney Company with a price target of $145. Earlier on November 14th, Laura Martin from Needham also reiterated a buy rating on the stock without disclosing any price target. These analysts are saying to pick up the mouse. Folks, what happened if you listened to them before the last earnings call? Again, I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money. I would never do that. Go talk to a financial advisor who is accredited and credible and has a great track record in your own hometown, okay? Don't listen to me. But I'm just here to tell you what in the world is going on that these people continue to say, you got to buy this stock. We're about to the big one. Where has it been, folks? It has been in the same spot, basically, since 2015. Now, if I go up here and I put in the S&P 500, okay, let's just do that. S&P, if I can type 500. Okay, where's it at after 5 years? You're up 85.3% if you've held on to the S&P 500, okay, which is just all the top 500 companies on the New York Stock Exchange, S&P 500. If we go to the max, okay, let's go back to 2015 and see where it was then. Going back to 2015, wow, it's a long way back. It was at 2,000. in 2015. It's at 6,700 today. Tripled. It tripled. What did Disney do since 2015? Stayed the same. That's the difference in this. And yet they're telling you to buy. Culture, what do you make of this? Why do they continue to do this? And why do people not revolt against these articles and say, okay, you have this opinion. Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. But I need something different than what you've been telling me the last 10 years.
I think a lot of people don't look back over the history of what they've been told in these particular situations, specifically when it comes to Disney. Disney has been living off an unearned reputation for the better part of 2 decades now. And it wouldn't even matter if you were looking at it as far as whether or not it's an investment or as a resort property or anything else. It has constantly allowed itself to decline in every aspect of performance, whether it be, financially. And again, we don't give financial advice, but if you look at the overall 5 years specifically, as you've highlighted, I feel like I've seen this movie before, and Bob Chapek was doing a far better job than when, Bob decided to enter and exit twice. I have a feeling that there's not a lot of positive on the horizon because they can't point to it. And that seems to be all they do, is point somewhere else every time that Bob or someone from the Disney company is talking about the numbers on the quarterly basis. They are living in some kind of fantasy that they seem to be able to bring people along to. So, look, I mean, you can believe that the cruise business is going to rescue Disney, but I don't think you're going to find that's going to be the case. You're not going to see the resort business rescuing Disney because they haven't truly invested in or reinvested in the resort business at all. In fact, they've run away from a lot of things that helped to make them money and to help sell vacations, some of those being the Magical Depressed that they would pick you up in on your way to your vacation and drop you off in on your way away from your vacation. There's so many various things that Disney has walked away from that aren't just their customers, but the way they connected with those customers. I think that's the bigger thing to cry foul over than even just the loss of revenue.
Another thing that could be foul, Marvin, is we are now down around 103.
Jeez.
I don't know what it is that's going to get this stock to go up or down, but if it goes below 100 and gets back into the 90s, that's going to be a rough ride for Bob Iger in his final year. We're in the first quarter of his final year as CEO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the thing that all CEOs are kind of judged on is how they leave and what the companies. Michael Eisner, for good or for bad, still gets a lot of flack for the way the company was when he left it. As people forget the good things that he did earlier on in his career, and he's kind of a pariah in that sense because of the way he left. Now, Bob Iger, I think, is going to be judged based on these last 5 or so years, or 3 years, where he has pretty much steered into the iceberg. I think had Bob never come back, the conversation around his legacy would be a very different conversation. I think some of us might even speak about him fondly. But he proved without a shadow of a doubt that the only thing he was good at was buying things created by other people, and stuck around long enough for those bills to come due. And therein lies the problem. Bob Iger is all about his legacy. It's the only thing he probably really cares about at this point. And all he's going to have to hang his head on is, a stock under $100 and a building in New York City that has green energy.
Yeah, he's very proud of that building he's got. Too bad he's not building the stock up very much. Ron, we're looking at a Disney company that is on the run, maybe, from investors. And there's a lot of scrutiny being placed on this. Forbes has come out and said that they have big questions. Caroline Reed has big questions out of Forbes about the theme park attendance numbers, and those theme park attendance numbers are a lot of what props up the stock. Ron, what do you see when you go to the theme parks these days? How are they looking? How are they appearing? And what do you think we get out of them in 2026?
Well, they're not aiming as much as towards families anymore. And what's weird about it is they still have the reputation of being a family-friendly company, but they're coming out and they're stating we're not aiming towards the families anymore. We're aiming towards the higher income adults. They've shown it by building all these bars, putting a lobby bar in the Grand Floridian, Beacon Barrel Bar at the Magic Kingdom, the Geo 82 at Epcot. They are clearly catering towards a very different crowd than Walt Disney himself wanted to cater towards, which was basically bringing generations of families together. Now they have admitted that they are their demographic is changing, and they're looking to get more money out of fewer people, which would be a great experience in the parks if families were coming and had less wait times and everything. But it's not the families coming. It's the influencers. It's the Disney adults. It's the dinks. It's the dual income, no kids families. And it's kind of strange, to see who is in the parks now, and to see people literally online complaining that there are children around them at Disney. I've seen this on a number of posts lately, and it's kind of it's disgusting. God forbid we should bump into a stroller when we're trying to enjoy our drinks, that we just got at the Beacon Barrel or Geo 82 or whatever. I mean, this is what's happening. Disney is becoming almost an anti-family company compared to what they used to be. It's very, very strange. It's not definitely not the Disney that I fell in love with as a kid, as far as the parks, as far as the stuff that they were putting out in the 90s and all of it. I just don't think that. I think what we're seeing in the stock value is what we're actually seeing in the Disney brand value. It is stagnant, and right now their priorities are in the wrong places with streaming and everything else. It's just not going to. I don't think the stock moves. Obviously, no financial advice, but I don't think the stock moves until leadership realizes they need to reprioritize what's important to the actual Disney fan and Disney guest.
Marvin, Culture, anything else to add on the Disney stock and where the company goes in 2026? Again, no financial advice being given, but maybe Star Wars and Avengers come to save the day. Or does it get worse, guys, if the two big boy brands go down in flames?
I think the boy brands are gone. I'm sorry. I think I tried to, give you the disappointment about the feminist messaging that hasn't worked despite Ehrenberg's pushing of that propaganda from USC for the better part of a decade now. If anything, Aunt Willow Bay, who is the dean over there, has done nothing but destroy Disney from her side of the equation. Now, mind you, she happens to be married to Uncle Bob over there, who's doing a decent job of destroying the material from the other side of the equation. But I don't think I've ever seen a more effective tag team, even in wrestling, destroy anything that Disney had that was valuable, more so than Willow and Bob together. Now, ultimately, let's look at the fact that there's nothing coming in the future that anybody's excited for. I've said this a couple of times today, and I truly mean it. There is no film in 2026 that's going to get everybody out of their seat and on their way to a theater. I'm including Doomsday and anything else that Disney manages to poop out there. And I have a feeling that when Wonder Man comes out, it's going to do nothing but drag down any future Marvel has in front of it. There is nothing for an audience to look forward to any longer because the storytelling is not compelling and because the heroes have been replaced by feminized versions of the originals. And that's just for Disney. That's a universal problem across every single one of these production companies. And I think the only way out of this is to get back the writers that Script Doctor is talking about, the ones that haven't been employed for a decade. We need those guys back.
We do indeed. And folks, Bob Iger needs to get as many consumers back as he can in order to shore up the investors. It's his final year. Will they drop below the 100 mark? How low can it go? Will it rise? We'll be here to cover it, folks, and you won't believe your eyes. I think that 2026 is going to be one of the most interesting years we've ever seen for Disney and the future of entertainment. Helping Hollywood produce a product that you want to consume, that's what we do each and every day, folks. And this time, it's time to, well, say goodbye. We know, but don't cry. No, for we will have more videos on the way. We love to bring those videos and that information. And by the way, if you'd like even more, consider going to the Patreon page. It's www.patreon.com/WDW Pro. It's where we put out stuff exclusively there that we simply can't put out in other places for whatever reason, be it because it's too spicy or because, well, perhaps we're working to corroborate it. But you can find out things early and first over there. Folks, we surely have had a great time spending time with you. Consider clicking that like button, share, subscribe, click it, and stick it to those pesky algorithms. It is the notification bell, and drop a comment right on down below. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.